but I want to welcome everybody to my channel, The Candy Shop. I am so excited. The Candy Shop. So this is my story time, The Candy Shop. Let me unmute. Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Candy Shop. I am Candace, and this is Champagne and Things. Deb will be joining me shortly. He's getting some things together. But first of all, I want to make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, hit that like button for my live. That is what keeps me in the algorithm for YouTube. I need y'all to hit that like because it's been a minute since I've gone live, and I need to get back into the algorithm. But thank you for joining me today. Shout out to Reps. She came early this morning to put some candy and champagne glasses in the chat. Hey, Red Label. He gave us the eyes because we started late, but oh well. And hey, Nola. Good to see you. She says, welcome to the Candy Shop. Like the video on your way in. Yes, please like the video. Hit that subscribe button in the notification bell so you can see when I go live. So Deb will be joining me shortly. I wanted to come on here and do some lighthearted topics because it's been a lot going on with the Shanquilla case. I did not want to go live talking about Shanquilla because there's so many different facts. Also, there are a lot of content creators like kind of fighting over whose information is correct and whose is incorrect. And I just rather wait to see what they give us with the update, and then I'll give my commentary on that as well. Definitely want to respect this young woman in her memory now, and that's so sad. But let me add Deb to the stream. I don't know if he's almost ready.
I'm here.
Hey, let me switch us. So good to see you. I'm so happy you joined. I thought I was going to have to do this alone because you was up all night on your nightcap.
You know, I'm getting old. I was like, let me take a nap, and the nap almost took me over until tomorrow.
Well, how have you been?
I have been pretty good. I just been having a lot going on, but I'm doing good though.
Well, that's good. Well, let's just jump right into it. Earlier, I did a short on Christian Walker, Herschel Walker's son. I didn't even know this young man was related to Herschel Walker. One of my coworkers put me on to this. The young man, huh?
We talked about him before.
Christian Walker?
Yes, we played some of his videos and stuff on our show.
I don't remember that.
We did.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember that. But he put his father on blast even more. He put up some crazy tweets. Mm-hmm. I'm going to show some of them. And this young man is the same young man that went off on Kalani at Starbucks. Yeah. So he does not see himself as a gay person. He sees himself as an American who wants to just marry a man.
I can't see my eyes, but I rolled them.
Yes, I saw him. So he's highly confusing, but let's get to these tweets. So this is one of the tweets he put up. He said, don't beat women, hold guns to people's heads, fund abortions, then pretend you're pro-life, stalk cheerleaders, leave your multiple minor children alone to chase more fame, lie, stay stupid or say stupid crap and make a fool of your family. Then he put, let me take this banner down to see all this. He said, don't compare Warnock running over his wife's foot to my father holding guns and knives to my mother's throat, threatening to kill his therapist, her, and one of his adulteresses in a therapy session, and telling my mom and he was going to beat our asses. Get off my page. So I guess people was coming for him. Then another tweet, he said, the truth. Trump called my dad for months demanding that he run. Everyone with a brain begged him, please don't do this. This is too dirty. You have an insane past. Please don't do this. He also put Republicans, we say we don't play identity politics, and then you ran this man mainly because he was the same skin color as his opponent with no background other than football. A boring old Republican could have won. And then one of his last tweets, this is my amazing mom, who's had her name and image dragged through the media unwillingly. She refused, here we go. She refused to talk to any journalist after 18 months of stalking. I blew up after she was lied on multiple times. Shout out to every strong mother whose story goes untold. We love you. So I don't know what Herschel Walker did to his son, but it was just crazy. And thank you, Lamar, for the $2 super chat. Hey, how you doing? But it's the young man, and I'll share his page. What were you gonna say about him?
No, he had threatened. He threatened to, unalive him and his mom too.
Yes.
I played those videos. I think I thought I did it with you, but I played the videos when he was talking about it after he got fed up with his dad the first time, and was talking about how they basically was covering for his dad, and something about him not taking care of his children and all kind of things. Like he just had to wake. He had to wake up and see, what's really happening in real life for everybody that he's been trolling all this time. I wish I had.
Yes. I'm sorry. I'm trying to.
No, I wish I
girl,
wish
what were
I
you about
had
to
my.
say?
I wish I had my little overlay videos so I could put up the Monique thing, talking about when the clown come back to bite, because that's what he's dealing with, because he came on and trolled all of us, but then he said that he did it because his dad asked him not to say anything. He was trying to support his dad because they didn't want to embarrass him, but he just got tired of it.
Right. I don't know. This young man, I'm gonna play one of one of his TikToks. He just does the most. I'm trying to see what can I play.
Because
Let's see this.
I think I played the one where he was at the Starbucks, and wasn't that the one where with Kalani when she was in a Starbucks driveway? Can you hear me?
I may be freezing. When he was in the Starbucks driveway with Kalani.
Yeah, and he saw the gay flags.
Yes. Let me turn this off because it's freezing my computer. But yes, when he saw the gay pride flags, he got upset saying, "Where is your American flag?" He went off, and then Kalani was telling the baristas not to pay attention to him. He's crazy.
Yeah.
And then he gets out his car, walks up to Kalani, and starts harassing her.
Yep.
So the young man, I don't know, the whole family seems interesting. It's funny that he's trying to put his father on blast, but all the stuff that he's saying about his father, we already knew.
Right.
So it's a mess. And hey, just simply good to see you. But he was definitely clout chasing when it came to Kalani with his father. It's funny that they're Republicans, but he definitely did not support his father at all. And I'm glad, shout out to Senator Raphael Warnock. I made sure I voted because I would have lost it if Herschel Walker was put in place.
I'm sure. I mean, most of our ads, most of my ads on my YouTube was those campaigns. So,
OMG. Any more thoughts on Mr. Christian Walker before I go to the next topic?
I'm just glad that he's able to speak out. I mean, I believe what he's saying. I think that, sometimes reality has to hit you in the face with a brick, and it's hit him in the face now. And all that lying and stuff, it eventually catches up with you. And now here you are. So,
yes, but his son is very controversial. He doesn't it's like he doesn't identify as black. He thinks he's a white boy. And then he wears these light colored contacts.
see, I thought he was doing that because I thought what he was explaining on those videos was he was doing that because he was asked to support his dad. So I didn't know if that was really real.
I don't know. I think the boy is controversial. He's a cloud chaser. Very
he's definitely a cloud chaser.
Yes. And Red Label, I would love to turn Georgia blue, but I think what people don't understand about the state of Georgia, the blue areas are the major cities. Majority of Georgia is red. So all the people moving to Atlanta, yes, we can kind of try, but it's way more red here than it is blue. And so that's why a lot of people were surprised about Herschel Walker, the race being so close. But it's close because this is technically a red state. Like the only things that are really blue are Macon, Atlanta, I think Savannah, and Albany. I think those are the areas.
Most people just think of Georgia and think of Atlanta, and that's it. and that's just not the case.
Georgia is way, way bigger than Atlanta. And Nola said, so they both don't have no fries and they haven't meal right. They don't. And just simply was rooting for us. Yes, we needed all the prayers because I was scared. I knew, and I hate to say it, I knew what's her name? Stacey Abrams. I knew she was gonna lose. I knew it.
Yes, she loses every time.
Yeah. So
I think she's been running since I've lived in Atlanta.
Wow. I know she ran the first time about, I guess it was 2 years ago. Was it 2 or 3 years ago? Maybe 4.
Maybe she was campaigning when I got here then. I thought that she was on the ballot though.
She was on the ballot for the first time, I think. Maybe it was 4 years ago. It's whenever, it might have been 4 years ago, because I know at the time the guy in Tallahassee, Florida, was trying to be the governor as well.
I've been here for like 7 years, so.
Yes, and that Fu Herschel lives in Dallas. Yes, we sent him back to Texas.
Yeah, I know said Texas is no better, and that's true. I mean, I think Georgia and Texas have that problem.
They're about the same. Both conservative states. Sometimes I think at times Texas is more conservative than Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
So Red Label says she don't pass the brown paper bag test. She will never be quiet as it's kept.
Yeah. That's what it is.
You think so?
Mm-hmm. Because I know like a lot of like our LGBT stuff, like they voted for her.
What about Keisha Lance Bottoms? She became mayor, but I guess because that was Atlanta and it was a smaller race, of course she's going to win.
She ran around. We voted for her. I couldn't stand her.
Keisha Lance Bottoms don't pass the brown paper bag test.
I mean, she close.
I thought Stacey Abrams was close. Lamar said, we like our conservatism in Texas, great economy and guns. Oh, goodness.
Yeah. And that's what Georgia likes too. Keisha wanted to be a celebrity. She really didn't want to be the mayor.
She lost me. Keisha lost me when all that stuff was happening with those riots and things downtown, and she pulled over them those cops pulled over those kids.
Yeah.
And they were kids, attending Clark, and it was just not a good scene at all.
I actually did my first YouTube video about that.
Wow.
Yeah, I privated. I did private the video, because remember I was saying I did those shorts, but I privated the video because I had took a lot of the news clips and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I was comparing what she asked us to do versus what actually happened, because she was saying that she wanted. She was like, y'all can protest as long as it's peaceful and it's peaceful. And so you literally had the news reporters down there saying it's peaceful. They're doing what she asked them to do, and here come these daggone cops. I was about to cuss. Here come those cops, and they start running the people over and hitting and abusing people, and it's like it's not fair. Then they pulled those kids out the car when they was on their way home because she decided to have a curfew at the last minute. Mm-hmm. I'm like, they're not in a protest. Most people didn't even know that.
Exactly. So she lost me with that. And Red Label, I don't like your comment talking about Stacey, big, black, unmarried, screams high blood pressure and diabetes.
Oh my God.
Moving on, Red Label. The Atlanta real estate insider, doesn't Andrew Gillum live in Atlanta now? Perhaps he'll run for governor. No.
Isn't that the one who was down in Florida who had passed out at the sex party?
Yes. Lamar had the picture of the man on the bathroom floor with throw up.
Child. As soon as they showed that, I knew exactly where he was at and what he was doing.
And the real label talking about, I said what I said. Bottoms couldn't make mac and cheese. She wasn't one of
Exactly.
I love Keisha Lance Bottoms. She was an HBCU graduate.
Mm-hmm. And that's fine, but she was not. I didn't like her.
I liked her. Why didn't you like her?
Because of the stuff that was happening during COVID with the whole Black Lives Matter stuff. Like,
yeah, that's where she lost.
She got on that news, and she was up there. T.I. owns this, and Killer Mike owns this, and y'all tearing up stuff. And I'm like, girl, you're not even aware that they're not even tearing up that stuff. They're tearing up the Linux. That's not what T.I. and Killer Mike don't own nothing over there.
Exactly. Wasn't she liked T.I. though? Don't
She
she?
loved T.I. and Killer Mike because that was make her the celebrity of Atlanta. That's what she wanted to be. She didn't want to be. She didn't want the place that she had in the office. She wanted to be the celebrity of Atlanta, and they made her that. She was parading around here like she was literally like a celebrity.
Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. I hate that. I hate that it turned out like that for her. Oops. Let me turn this off. But you ready to go to the next story?
Yes,
Well,
please.
I'm zipping through these stories.
Let's not talk about Keisha because that makes my blood pressure up.
Yes. Well, let's talk about Keke Palmer. So I'm gonna try to share my screen again.
Oh yes, my Virgo sister.
Yes, I love me some Keke Palmer.
Yes, but and
So with Keke Palmer,
uh,
what you say?
I was gonna say make sure y'all stream Virgo Tendencies by Keke Palmer.
So Keke Palmer, we know, just recently announced that she is with child, and so congratulations to her. But she put up this tweet yesterday saying, "I just saw a few comments of people saying I was ugly because I wasn't wearing any makeup, and I really want y'all to get the help y'all need because makeup isn't real. I'm beautiful in real life because of who I am, not what I look like." She also said, "I wish I could bottle how I feel about myself and sell it because some people take comments to heart and these people just say anything. I mean, truly, it's insane to say anyone is ugly, but especially me." Exactly. I just feel like, and thank you, Lamar. He said he really likes Keke.
I
I
love
want to
it.
read the labels comment. He said people have to understand it tends to be a pedigree and what you look like in politics. Yeah, that's true. But going to Keke Palmer, this is a beautiful young lady. And when I saw this story, it did kind of, I'm going to stop sharing. It did kind of piss me off as well because I swear it just seems like with Black women, they love to criticize us, talk about what we look like. We're held to this higher standard of beauty and constantly just, I don't know, it's just no respect at all.
I think with Keke Palmer, they picked the right one because first of all, she gonna read your ass. Period. That's
Yeah.
Keke Palmer. She's gonna be unbothered because it's the Virgo in her, and she does not care. Y'all have to check out Virgo Tendencies one more time because she even let y'all know that in the song. Like she just is. That's how she is. Keke Palmer is so beautiful. I mean, one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen. I love when she impersonates Angela Bassett. She has
Mm-hmm.
a great personality. She's funny. She's beautiful. Like, what are y'all looking for? If makeup, no makeup, who even cares? The woman, she's pregnant and she looks beautiful. So
Correct. And every time I see her, because they tried to compare her to Zendaya as
mhm,
well, and they were saying that Nope was Kiki's breakout role. And
mhm.
I'm like, I've known Keke since Akilah and the Bee. And when she made her statement at that time saying that I don't compete or compare myself to anybody, I'm me. Like I was in tears because they always try to put Black women up against each other, and for them to just now notice this young woman who's been in a wide range of movies,
Right.
very accomplished, been on Disney Channel, had her own show. She's accomplished so much in her young life. That pissed me off.
I think
So,
she owns some stakes in Disney, like Nick Cannon does too.
yeah.
So, but yeah, even when they did that, she read the hell out of them too. And she posted all of her accolades and everything she's done. She was like, "Don't compare me to her."
Right.
So
And I'm happy for her. And I know I've been seeing a lot of content creators on YouTube shaming her now because she's pregnant. She
really,
Oh yes, I done seen it on my
wow.
algorithm. They are saying because she's not married, and
So what?
she's
They not married.
exactly. This is my thing. This young woman, like I said, she's a young woman, accomplished, can take care of herself, can take care of a child if she has one. Not everybody is going to believe in that tradition of marriage and um, all of that. But it's like, like Nola said, I agree with Nola. Who the F cares? Because,
I actually read that in her voice. Like, who cares?
yes, I'm so tired of people trying to police other people's actions and things and setting people to these high standards when they themselves are not even at that high standard.
That she's literally like a prime example of what I would want my daughter to be like. I mean, she's been working since she's been a child. She's not a young mother. I mean, there's nothing wrong being a young mother, but she took her time to have a kid. I believe she's in a relationship with the guy who she had, who she's pregnant by as well, because I think he spoke out about her being pregnant or whatever. Like, what do y'all want from her? To peel off her skin and become light skin and white or something? Like, what do you want?
They just want to shame her. They want to make her a statistic when she's not. She's not technically. She's not a statistic at all.
I mean, literally, like everything that she has done in her life is a great example of what you would want a daughter to be, or a woman to be, or a man to be, or anybody, a human being to be. Period. So don't y'all not about to read my sis. Shout out to my brother.
Red Label. I know who says the fuck like that.
It's that funk shit.
Yeah, I hear it in his voice. But yeah, I did not agree with that at all. This lady is a beautiful lady, and I'm so tired of people.
I don't even want to call her a lady. I mean, she's younger than me, so
this woman. I don't want to keep saying young girl because she is definitely she's a young woman.
Young woman, yeah.
So I want to give that respect.
Lady makes her sound older though.
Huh?
Lady makes it sound like she's older than me, so I don't know.
Oh
no. Like this lady, I'm like, I think I call like the people at my school that's older than me that.
No, I mean, I don't know. I said woman, but yes, I definitely want to put some respect on her name. So yeah, I don't want to say young girl or anything like that. This is a young woman that's accomplished a lot. So yeah, I'll say young.
I might have to go rant on my channel about that. Because we're not gonna do is read Keke Palmer.
Yes. And I can't wait. I love her. I'll just say that. And I can't wait to see what else happens in her career. Make sure you guys check out her movies. Nope was okay. It was interesting to watch her in that, but I do like her in the movie Alice with Common. That was on Amazon, so be sure to check that out. It's based off of a true story that happened here in Georgia.
What's that show on Netflix with the hormone monsters?
Hormone monsters.
What is it called? Oh my god, it's like on the tip of my tongue. I gotta look at it now. Because she's a voiceover on that.
Is it a cartoon?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
Oh my god, what is the name of that freaking show? Y'all know in the chat too. Y'all seen that show? It's a Netflix original.
Yeah, let us know if y'all know. Red Label said, I mean, she has millions in the bank, and the people who are talking S don't have thousands in the bank. Next caller. So, but yes, if you
Big Mouth. Big Mouth.
No, Big Mouth. Oh, I never heard of.
Huh?
I never heard of it, but I've never heard of that show. Did I freeze?
You did. You was breaking up a little bit, but yes, it's called Big Mouth. You're back now, but it's called Big Mouth, and they did a spinoff called Human Resources, and she just got on, I think, the last 2 seasons, and then she's on the new franchise of that, which is called Human Resources. So go watch all of it. I forgot she plays she plays a love bug, but then it turns into this monster because the boy won't fall in love or whatever. But it takes the kids to puberty or something like that.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna have to check it out. Well, getting to our last story, and then I'll drop the link after this story where we can chit chat. So I'm not going to end the show. I'm gonna drop the link after our last story. So our last story involves Wendy Williams' son, Kevin Hunter Jr. He has been evicted from his $2 million apartment and slapped with a $70,000 lawsuit in back rent. So for one, I'm shocked. I guess my question to you, because you might know this story more than me, is Wendy Williams broke, or is she just cutting people off?
They don't have access to her money.
Oh.
He probably is, because they don't have access to her money. That's why Kevin is mad, because he can't get his alimony from her.
So why she cut her son off?
Well, she didn't. You know, Wells Fargo says her bank account frozen.
And hey, Cheryl, Kanye and Pepper, good to see you. So Lamar says she ain't broke. So Wells Fargo cut her money off. So when they froze it, that's why her son went. That's why he ain't got no money.
That's why the family is struggling because they don't have access to her money now. What I've been hearing is different stories. Um, well, not different stories. They cut it off. I don't know what the original reason why what the original reason is, but people are saying that they wonder if Wendy Williams um, let it happen so that Kevin can get the money, so that she don't have to pay for that damn house for Kevin and that girl to live in. But it does also affect little Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Because he's an adult.
he's an adult, so I mean, they ain't got shit to do with her.
Still, that's her only
And I'm
child
and I'm agreeing with just simply why the 22-year-old living in such an expensive place.
in Miami at that. But so,
Exactly.
Deb, I go back. I was watching you this morning. You said when you go home, your mama
Mhm.
is gonna take care of you like you are her baby because she's getting you the cereal.
When I
So
go when I go home, I still have my own place here in Atlanta. I pay the bills. She does not pay my rent. She don't pay my electric, my gas, my water bills. She don't buy me groceries, no nothing. So yes, when I go home, my mom's gonna take care of me because she loves me, and I'm her favorite kid.
you're so funny. But let me get to some of these comments. So, the real estate insider says she paid up the first year $100,000. So, I guess the second year he didn't pay because he's $70,000 behind in rent.
He should have bought a cheaper apartment.
Right. Nola said, I'm not mad at the pa not getting alimony because he didn't deserve it. Right. He shouldn't have got
Exactly.
any money at all. Once
Exactly.
he decided to go live with Miss Thang Thang and her and start the other family, that would have been the cutoff for me. He would not have gotten any alimony for me. And I was upset when, because I think, wasn't he awarded alimony?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that, yeah, I would have had some words. Relay was that she can barely, for the apartment shares in New York, she can barely pay for the apartment shares in New York. Lamar said the son and her are not in a great place because little Kevin says he wants her to get help or he won't deal with her. Oh yeah, he can get cut off too.
But she's been getting him. So
Yeah, I'm not. If you want me to get help, I'll go
now
get
I
help.
don't think ain't
I'll get
nothing
help.
wrong with ain't nothing wrong with a son wanting his mother to get help. Now there's nothing wrong with that to
Yes,
me.
but the thing is though, he's Lamar said he won't deal with her. So if you're not
But
dealing with me, you're not going to be dealing with my money either.
well, I don't know if you've ever we'll talk offline. There's nothing wrong with what he said.
Mm. Mm, mm, mm,
You
mm,
don't
mm.
know what that's like to deal with a parent who's whatever she's on. Dealing with a parent like that, it's a lot.
I know, and I guess I can definitely understand that it is a lot. But that's I guess my thought process is that's still your parent, and so I still would deal with my parent, especially if they're helping to take care of me. I might be upset, but we gonna get through this together. And I, as hard as it may be, that's still my parent because when I was a child, they had to deal with me through the rough times as well. And
I,
that's
I
my
would
thought process, though.
I would take his statement at face value. I would not take that like as he's not really going to deal with her. I think that's like a threat a kid would say for a parent who has an addiction
Mhm.
because it's hard.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
Right.
I know. I deal
Um,
with one of my parents, not my mom. So y'all know my dad has dealt with addiction, and I still talk to him as my dad. He's in and out of my life,
mm,
but I'm still going to be there as much as I can. But that's
mhm.
me. I know everybody is different and they handle things differently.
My since you said my dad struggled with it too, and my
Mhm.
mom put him out and for a while, and she let his family deal with him. They hated my mom, so for me, I do have strong feelings when it comes down to that because one, my dad's family made my mom feel like a villain, and I didn't like that because she did what was right. He was like literally taking the money where she couldn't even pay bills.
Yeah.
And so whatever when I don't think that Kevin maybe if it experienced that, but as a kid, like you don't want to see your parent go through anything like that.
Hmm.
And I don't know how she treated him while she was, intoxicated or whatever she was. Put up your allegedly banner if you don't have it up.
Yeah.
You know,
One
I don't know how she treated him, but I understand what he said. I don't think that he was serious. Like, I'm never going to deal with her, but like he wants her to get help. And sometimes you say things that may not be nice, and you might have to go back and apologize later on. But that's serious.
Yes, just simply says she also heard that he dropped out of college and wanted his mom to pay for his lifestyle.
Oh, see now,
I think he said that to make her get help.
yeah.
And she said, and they don't know we saved money for them since 1988, and that the funds I give them. Oh, she's talking about the sons. I told my sons, as long as you're doing something with your life, I help with their bills, but I'm not allowed to have a key or doing drive by. And
Wait. I told my son, as long as you're doing something with your life, I help with the bills, but I'm not allowed. Okay.
Mhm.
I'm like, you don't have to be doing no drive-bys and show confidence.
Yeah. So, and he's at an age. I'll say this: I had help from my mother,
Mhm,
but the condition was that I had to stay in school.
mhm.
So, as long as I was in school, she was going to help me. So, I did my part. That's the thing. To me, it's a two-way street. You have to do your part. You have to be responsible. Yes, she might have an addiction, but does that mean you drop out of school? And this is all alleged. You drop out of school, you don't get a job, you literally just let your finances and things go awry, or because you think I'm just going to keep taking care of you without you doing anything.
What? Okay, so let's have a conversation.
And he's an adult. I'm saying this because he's an adult.
I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you on the fact of that. Well, let's have a conversation about why do we as Black people have to have stimulation on how long our parents will help us. And I'm saying this because I was literally watching Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Are you watching that?
I haven't started. I watched the first season, but not anything after that.
And so I watch it, but I can't tell you whose names is who and who has what
Talking
kids or
about the
whatever.
lady with the son who has a clothing line.
No, the one he has the skincare line.
Oh, okay.
And
You might
so
be the same one.
no, it's two different kids. I
Oh,
do
okay.
know that. So the boy has a skincare line that's actually doing very well, and they're having the conversation about him going to college. He doesn't want to go, and because the father and the son, the father, the father, I mean the father and the mother put up the money to fund, like basically kickstart his business.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, to be honest, he doesn't want to. He wants to sit around like CEOs and stuff like that and learn from them. Basically, what you're going to college for, he already kind of has access to the mentors that he wants to do. And so they're having a conversation about whether he's going to go to college or not. And to me, I'm like, if parents will help a kid go to college, and if you have like a Wendy Williams, like, why wouldn't you like even think about like Ti and Tiny, like, and Candy, and then like they're Riley went to college,
Mm-hmm.
but she also has stakes in business and stuff like that. Why are they not pressing like business ventures for them before they get there? Because our thing is, oh, you got to go to college, you got to go to college. But in 2023 or 2022, is that like really important? Because I mean, for us, it's like it's just debt.
My thing is, like I said, in with my family. Now I don't agree with Black families putting a child out at 18,
Right,
but for me there is a condition though. If I'm going to continue to take care of you, you have to do something with your life, be it getting a job,
right.
military, or going to college. You have to show me that.
Military,
Oh yeah, military
really?
as well. Yes, you have to show me that you are willing to do something with your life. I'm not going to keep taking care of you and you just laying around my house.
My grandfather made us all promise we would never go to the military
Yeah, that's
because
you.
he went, and the PTSD that he had from that, and actually some of my cousins went, and the fact the PTSD that they have, I don't encourage Black people to go. We've been through enough. I mean, we're in the military as young men
So,
already.
so I have family. My family and our experience was a little different with the
Mhm.
military. So I
Okay.
have I have uncles that served in Vietnam and the Gulf
Okay.
Storm.
Okay.
Um, and so their experience is different from, let's say, my cousin who she joined the military. She joined the Navy after she graduated from Marquette University in Wisconsin. Shout out to her. And
Mhm.
she joined the Navy as an officer. She's
Mhm.
got different benefits. So to me, from what I've seen, is beneficial. Also, working in education, I work in higher education. When it comes to the military, they pay basically 100% for your education. So, and also, and I not to use improper English because I said also, my first husband was in the Navy. As a military spouse, there were so many benefits that we got and that we received that I haven't seen the negative side of the military. The only thing that I can say is negative is the fact that my ex-husband was away and he was starting families without me and doing whatever, the cheating side of it.
And he got all those benefits because he was married to you.
Yeah, he got benefits because we were married. But no, even without us being married, he still got like a clothing. They get BAH regardless. He got more the housing stuff, and he got more because we were married. But his current wife, him, whatever, when they decide to go to school, they get the GI Bill. With post 9/11, which is a bill that came out after 9/11. That basically pays for school 100%. You got a certain amount of months and all of that. And so his kids, he can gift it to his kids. He can gift it to his wife. He can go to school himself. It's just a lot more. To me, it's beneficial. And if I had my way, my son would actually join the Air Force first and then go to college after he served his time and retired. That's what I would want. But I've seen positives about the military. I know there are negatives though.
And I see people in the chat going back and forth with this. So I mean, I just have like, even because my cousin, like my cousin, we grew up together. He went and he literally, like, he's not himself anymore. So I don't know. It's just like, I don't think I've seen anybody have it. I've maybe a few, because he had a friend who went. He used to call us. He'd be drunk all the time and like just calling us and going off and trying to tell us what to do and stuff. And I'm like, sir, you are an alcoholic. Like, I can't listen to this. So, tomato. Some, it might be good for some, it might not be good for some. So I'll leave it there because I don't want to put my own experience on what I know, because you have had good experiences from what you've known. So.
Yeah, no, I respect what you said too, because there are people that have had bad experiences too. So I see what you're saying. And like Nola said she would cry if her son ever went to the military. Yeah. So I can definitely understand that. Of course, like I was saying, you can give your benefits to your child. Her children, of course, have gone to school with the GI Bill. Going back to the condo, Lamar said the condo ain't all that either, but it had a 43rd floor view for $2 million. It wasn't all that.
In Miami.
Yes, and Nola said my cousin went to college first and graduated, then entered the military after to enter at a higher rank. Yes, so when you enter the military with a bachelor's degree, you are automatically an officer in the military. So that was what I wanted to do in my life, but instead,
look at Jeffrey Dahmer. That's another example. Like, everybody don't come out with a good experience.
Jeffrey Dahmer was discharged.
I know, because he was up there eating the people in the military. I mean, wherever he's at. So I don't know. I mean, listen, I'm not there to discourage somebody.
Jeffrey Dahmer was a problem before the military.
He was, yeah. He was. But that's very true. So let me not. I just don't. I mean, I was just like, even I was watching this show on TV One. Dang, what was it called? Shoot, I have to text it to you. Wait a minute, actually, I can look it up. Hold on. But they were even doing a documentary. It wasn't all about people who went to the military, but it's like they're aiding them on how to like get away with stuff. And I don't know. I don't have a great perspective on going to the military or everything like that.
Yeah,
I'm not even gonna look it up because I don't want people to look at it and then do your own thing. All right. I would never do it. Like, I was like praying to God, like, the day that I'm old enough not to go, I feel like I would be safe.
But with high school, you have to register for the draft anyway? I know, as a high school student.
You have you don't have a choice. And I literally, when I had to, I cried.
Yeah, but you know what's so crazy? You would not have gotten your financial aid benefits had you had not registered for selective service.
I know. That's what I'm saying, but that's not even fair.
I know. It's crazy how this country is set up, and y'all don't know how many people I've seen men over the age of 25 that were not registered for selective service and that could not get financial aid benefits and they could not go to college.
Yeah.
So it is crazy, but that's the country that we live in right now. So
the show that I was watching, I'm gonna just say this, not to talk about like that, but it was talking about how during the time, I think it was like say it because it's a tongue twister for me. World War II.
World
War
War II.
Yes, it's a tongue twister for me. I never can say it. But they were talking about after it happened and the privileges that Black people had in different cities and how they were building, like basically, you know how you had your Black Wall Street.
Mm-hmm.
They were talking about all the cities that had built those type of things in different cities and how like white people came back and took it from them after that. And I think that's another reason why I just have so many issues with it because people don't even respect you when you come back. You have veterans who are homeless right now. They can't find no jobs. They have this PTSD. Like,
yeah.
Hopefully you go and you have like a job where you don't have, if war happens, you don't have to do any of that. You have to see the people dying or whatever because it's a lot.
It is. It definitely is. And Cheryl, I don't know about the special lights on base. The only time I never lived on base, so the only time I would go to base is maybe to buy some food because it's cheaper to buy food on base. My ex-husband at the time, he worked for it was called the Bethesda Naval Hospital in Bethesda, Maryland, and so I would go on base to visit him. What were you about to say?
I was reading Q's comment.
Oh, what did he say?
As a person who did his 7 years. Tell
me about the special lights. What were you saying?
As a person who did his 7 years committed to the system, I don't want to hear you bitching. I don't hear you bitching about me bitching.
You're offending a Marine.
Period. Okay, I don't hear about it.
Well, first of all, Red Label, thank you for your service. I want to say that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
To me, the military has its benefits. But going back to the topic at hand, KJ, Kevin Hunter Jr. Mm-hmm. This young man.
I didn't get there.
I know, because I said the child has to be doing something.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Things, and I'm gonna add a fourth because Nola said it a trade. I would definitely support my child if they wanted to learn a trade like barbering or aesthetics, something in whatever field. But going back to KJ and him being $70,000 behind in rent, my first question would be, what is his profession? He's only 22. Is he he's not in school anymore? What's going on? And is his daddy gonna help him?
And what does he do?
It seems like he doesn't do anything.
Sir, pack up your things. And it's time to move because I mean, maybe because it's me as an adult speaking, because I don't know if I was Kevin Hunter's age when I got that, would I thought that way, but I would have been like, listen, I'm gonna grab something that's affordable. My mom's putting $100,000 down. That's rent for like almost 10 years.
Yeah.
To be honest. So I would have probably chose something that wasn't that. Like I know people like that. Maybe the first year something luxurious, and then after that, like really go and dumb it down. So it lasts long.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Well, I have dropped.
Also, he's Wendy Williams' son too. So is he safe in something in a regular neighborhood though?
I don't know. I'm just speechless at this point. But Red Label said, I learned I'm alive a person in 27 different ways and not be emotionally affected and pushed through for the greater good. Yeah, they do.
That screams you need to therapy to me.
Well, they are, it is like once you sign up for the military, you are signing away your life for that particular amount of time. So
yeah. See, and the fact that you have to tell us that lets me know we're not spending the night. We don't, when we visit him, we're not spending the night with him.
So I've dropped the link. Nola, Red Label, Cheryl, Lamar, anybody that wants to join. in the conversation. We're just gonna finish it out, chopping it up with some other hot topics if y'all want to, or we can talk about the topics at hand that we have been talking about. Because yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me why this young man is behind in rent. And oh, my daughter's talking now. What are you about to say?
It makes sense to me.
Really? Because it's
I just don't feel like I want to know why Red Label actually went to the service. Like, what was your reason why you went?
Red Label. Feel free to click that link. And Cheryl said the special lights is when your spouses leave for, are you saying duty, and the men or women put different lights in their windows to let other spouses know you down for what? Oh no, I don't know about them lights.
Yeah.
No,
Can you tell me what the lights is? I need to put one in my window.
no, he was probably ringing those bells to the lights. But yeah, I don't know.
Their family. Okay.
And hey, Nola.
What is it with the bells and the lights?
Lamar, I seen this.
I didn't know they were talking about Pastor Jamal Bryant. One of them.
Yes, he want to be bishop. He want to be Bishop Pusher.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, though.
Do you know I was thinking about visiting this church, but already this is telling me.
Now, I went to visit Nola. She would not take me to the First Lady O'Neill's church.
I told you could have Ubered.
Shawnee's church. We need to go to Jamal Bryant's church. It's not that far. We could go. We can invite Lovable Lisa because she says she live in that area. Yeah. I'm gonna drop my earring out.
I would love to go with Lovable Lisa. That would be.
I'm joking.
Oh, let me add Red Label. He's here. Hey, Red Label.
What's going on, everybody?
What's going on with you?
I'm here in the chat moderating.
I hate your laugh because I don't even say some BS.
What you talking about, Deb?
What?
No, Q. When he do that laugh, he about to say some BS. Go ahead.
I'm good. I'm trying to understand what your gripe is with the military, Deb.
I just don't think it's good for Black people. I mean, we've been through
Black
enough
people.
Stuff. I don't think it's good for Black people because we've been through enough, and I don't think that after people. And I know that you have a different experience, but I just know, like, for my families that went in Ohio, when they came back, they have never been the same.
Now, what was their experience as to why they have not been the same is what I would like to know. Because, in every other country, it is a requirement when you reach the age of 18.
You have to register.
And there are lots of people who go out and get their master degrees and their PhDs paid by the government, with only paying for a student ID of $150 in other countries of them doing their service to their country. So why is it an issue?
I just know about the because what is like the R? What is it? The R something the program they have in the colleges.
ROTC.
Yes, I know about people that went there because when I was at Wright State, which they have the Army base there in Dayton, Ohio. I know people who went there for that, but I think that people who actually went to war and actually had to like fight and stuff, like they come back and they don't come back like they were.
Well, I mean, it gives you perspective. It changes your opinion and your thought process of actually how the world works and how people operate. And it gives you insight into the mindset of some of the situations that we usually don't get to see up close and personal until we join the organization to see what we're actually fighting against and trying to prevent.
Well, I think the other reason why is because living in Columbus, Ohio, you see a lot of them living downtown and they're homeless at the YMCA and they need jobs. They can't find them. It was a lot. I don't know what it's
now,
like.
Are these Vietnam vets? Because that's an unjustified war, and that caused a lot of mental anguish.
Yes. So maybe I'm associated with that. But
of
yes,
how our vets are treated from that particular situation.
so my answer is yes. So maybe I'm associating with that.
Was it your grandfather that served in the Vietnam War?
Hmm.
Yeah.
And my grandfather didn't suffer from that, but he had a lot of friends, and I think like when we were doing community service, my grandfather made us do community service through my life. That's why I do it here in Atlanta too. Everywhere I go, I always do community service because of veterans, because they're homeless. I had a guy who was in that war, who literally went into my car, stole my phone, everything, and I was able to call my phone. But when I called it, he actually answered it and gave my phone back.
Yeah.
And
I'll say.
he
Oh,
explained to me, what he was going through, and I was like, "Well, you can't keep my phone," but and I gave him stuff. And I also have a cousin who went, and he was not in that war, but
hey, Fifi.
when he left, he just he's not like right now to this day he's not the same person.
I'll say this with mental health in the military, like they do offer resources to like see doctors and things of that nature, but a lot of times, especially in our community,
They
we
just
don't want
medicate you.
Hmm.
yeah, they medicate you when you do go, or oftentimes with even seeing a doctor like a actual psychologist versus a psychiatrist.
Mhm.
We don't want to sit there and talk to somebody.
Mhm.
So
And
That's
then we
not
look at
everybody.
talk
That's
about
not
mental
everybody.
health
That's not
as we don't
everybody.
talk about that. Oh, he's just crazy. You don't talk about it, and then everybody shies it under the rug. But as a person who comes from a military legacy family,
Mhm.
because my family can be traced back all the way going back to my great grandfather with the military within this country, I have a strong standing on it. My grandfathers go all the way back to the World Wars, and some of them were pilots. And so I just take a different stance on it. So it's just interesting of hearing how it can be sensitive and how some people don't agree with it. But I find great privilege in serving the country that I live in, and can go from there to afford the freedoms that we all have today, no matter what you feel about the political system and climate within the country.
yeah, Lamar said, I don't think they're treated the way they should be when they're out. When they are out, they should never have to work again after risking their life for the country. Were you about to say something, Nola?
I was gonna say, while I respect Red
Facts, Lamar.
Label, I respect Red Label, his family, and their legacy of the military. But if my son ever told me he wanted to go to the military, I would just die. I would just die
We gonna
right
go
there.
together.
One,
We gonna go together.
one, because I don't want my son losing his life. And that would just be my fear, you know, that he would.
How is that any different than your son hopping into a car
I
and
didn't, I
then
didn't,
someone
I didn't,
driving
I
and
didn't
then
cut you
taking him
off.
out? I
I didn't
know, I
cut you
know. I'm
off
sorry. Let me go ahead and hit mute.
because I respect your opinion. Please respect mine. Um,
Yes, ma'am. And I
so
heard you made some good gumbo in the live this morning. Next, I'm
that
going
Go
mute.
together.
so that's me, that's me as a mother. I don't know no mother who would be happy for that. And two, I have a cousin who will never be the same. Went to the Marines because he wanted to go to college and this was his way to pay for it. While he was over there, he was doing good, got into some kind of special ops, whatever they were out there doing. And it was like it was times we didn't know where he was. He couldn't speak to us, he couldn't call us and let us know he was safe. And then we knew he was getting out on one day. He didn't get to come home to us till 3 months after because he was told what he can talk about, what he couldn't talk about. And like he was home for like 2 or 3 months, and then he moved. Like he completely left this country, didn't want to live here. We barely hear from him. He's like, the things he saw, he said, the things I saw and the things I had to do, I will never be the same again. I had another cousin was out there in Afghanistan, and he said that one day a kid was walking to him. He had to tell him stop. The kid didn't understand English, and so, but they have the people that will undo themselves, their kids, whatever. They'll strap it to whoever, and so the kid didn't stop. And because the kid kept coming, he ultimately had to end up unaliving that kid. And that for him, like that destroyed him. Who he is today is genuinely messed up on the inside, especially because that kid had nothing on them. So the kid wasn't coming to harm them, but based on their training and what was going on in the situation, he had to, he had to unalive this kid. And so for him, that and I wouldn't want my son to go through that. I wouldn't want my son to go through that ultimately to get out and then come here and don't have the adequate treatment by the military that he needs. And these people, when they get out, they don't have adequate housing. They don't have adequate benefits. It's not really enough to live after you risk your life. And on top of my son being a black man, I am sorry. I don't want him to risk his life for a country that doesn't respect him, let alone the trauma that he can come back here with. Like it was just viral a couple months ago. A military sergeant was pulled over, black man in Virginia, handcuffed, handcuffed with his military license plate. They thought he stole the car. Took him to jail because the white officer couldn't believe that he had that rank in the military, only to find out that he did. But he's risking his life for this country. And the
So
officer got a slap on the wrist saying, "Oh, well, he was just trying to protect the integrity of the military. We can't have thugs and criminals riding around in military vehicles."
can I speak now?
You can go.
Now, would that see? I see that as an isolated incident with a racist officer who felt inferior to him seeing a black man who had a higher rank within the system. That does not mean it's the entire system of how it is ran and operated. So that is one slight um, issue that can occur, especially when you have someone of a non-melanated background who find themselves inferior to someone of color who has a higher ranking than them, that sees them as being better than them to try to make a point. And I see that particular incident as an officer trying to belittle, and it backfired.
I mean, I'm not saying this an incident that happened all the time. I'm a person who believes what we experience, what we go through on our walk of life, shape our opinions
Hmm.
and feelings about what's going on. And I'm a person who watch a lot of documentaries, watch a lot of news, and I'm gonna say the yes, there are some good aspects of the military. I'm not gonna deny that, but there are some horrible aspects. There are some bottom feeding. There is some covering up of women being grape juiced. There is some covering up of men being assaulted because it's found out that they are homosexuals. We're not gonna act like it happened. And for me, from my vantage point and the things I've seen, it is not a decision that I would want my son to make. Anybody who do it, I take my hats off to you. I respect it.
Yeah.
I know it was something that I would never do. It wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. So hats off to anybody who do it. I respect anybody who goes into the military. I thank them for being a better person than me because I'm a coward. I ain't going through it. Period. But for me and my son, and from my vantage points and the things I've experienced in life, nope, would never want my son to go to the military ever.
I never try to take away the good experience that people have ever had from it, because I know people who have had good experiences from it. I just have not, like, physically, until I met UQ, seen that. The show is called Sins of the City, and a lot of those stories are talking about how the black people who went to the military, they went, and then the cities became opened up again, and then the white people took over, and then it became in poverty again. It didn't have anything, and so a lot of it for me is that even if you protect the country, whatever, you're still a black person in America when you come back, and there's no respect for you, and that's why my grandfather told us that. He was just like, please don't ever go. And with the PTSD, like, maybe you didn't experience that, but there's a lot of people who are dealing with family members where they can't deal with that, and they lost their family member when they left, and they never came back mentally the way that they were before they went there, and they don't have a chance in real life anymore. And I've seen more of that. I know that you're saying that you have and your family have a good experience with it, but I've seen more of the not good experience than the good
Well, I
experience.
mean, my parents, I didn't. I mean, even when I was in, my dad was still in, and my dad was higher ranking, and I didn't have any issues with
Mhm,
training or anything because everybody knew who my dad was, and everybody knew who my dad's dad was, and I didn't have any of those issues.
mhm,
Um, when 9/11 happened, um, I was actually at the airport,
mhm,
um, and one of the planes were missing, and then we had to strip down of our uniforms and put our IDs in our shoes and kick everybody off a Greyhound bus, and it was very very difficult. And then everything changed, because I was actually going in, for technology studies, and then I ended up being, because I tested, highly in my aptitude for, science and medicine. I ended up becoming a combat, field medic, and, that changed. Um, I would have given my time because I didn't have a terrible experience. I think I would have retired, but after everything happened, down the line, we ended up losing, six in my unit that I was responsible for, and then I was slotted for another 16 months in Afghan, and I tapped out.
mhm,
I just couldn't do it mentally. And when I did come back, um, I was on, Wellbutrin, which was an antidepressant. I was on some other meds, and it had me in a zombie-like state. And I did have some, um, PTSD when I
mhm,
came back because it was just getting back to being a normal, American citizen without, the fear of the gunshots and all that other stuff.
mhm,
My parents actually have footage of me, being on CNN removing bullet shrapnels from people in my unit, and whatnot. But it's eye opening. Um, I to this day I cannot watch war movies. I can't do that. And my mom was just like, I need my son back.
mhm,
So I did the whole counseling and I did therapy and I bounced back out of, the paranoia that I was having, the nightmares I was having, and it's just finding me who I was as a person again without having the uniform on and know what that entails. So I think if people, who have experienced and seen the things that I've seen and saw, who took and take mental health, as important and to seek out help and work through it, then, it's not that bad of an experience, but you just have to learn how to process.
the bots are here.
Oh, um, but it's all about processing everything, and I thankfully my parents, said that they were not going to allow me to go down that road because I was, in a situation where I wanted to unalive myself several times after becoming a normal person. So it was a lot of work. So I can't understand that side of where it can take a dark turn.
But eh, even hearing you say that, like to me, like when you go, it's like everybody goes with you that's in your family, right?
What?
Because oh, go ahead. It's your chance. Go
I
ahead.
was
And I got.
sorry.
I'll
No,
take
I
it.
was just gonna say
No, no, you
this. Being seeing the other side because remember I was a military spouse, so I
got.
didn't see the negative stuff that maybe my ex-husband would have saw. And actually at the time that he joined the military it was like kind of the end, well it was in the middle between Bush and Obama, and we had
Mhm,
that war on oil with the oil and all of that,
Hmm.
so he didn't
mhm,
have to go to Iraq. I think the closest he, well, when he went overseas he went to Korea. But he didn't have to go to Iraq. And then he was on. He went to Diego Garcia. He was in the Navy. He went to Diego Garcia, and he served there for a little bit. And then he came to Maryland, and he worked at the Naval Hospital. So I saw nothing but the positive effects of the military, because he was a corpsman, petty officer. I guess his level was like 4 or whatever, where he had other corpsmen under him, and he basically had an administrative job. He made the money from his job plus his housing stipend, and then they sent him money for his uniform. Like, it was nothing but money coming in. To me, the only negative aspect of it was deciding whether or not I was going to live on base with him and leaving my family. When he told me he was moving, like he had to go somewhere else, at the time I had a son that was not his, and so I stayed in Texas with my family, and the distance is what was negative for us, because, like I said, he ended up getting with somebody else, getting this person pregnant. Other than that, though, both families, I had to say this, we were taken care of by the military benefits. But then again, he was in the Navy.
Blended.
What you say?
I said blended family.
Yes. So sometimes it matters with the branch that you're in. It matters the line of work that you decide to do. He ended up choosing a branch of the military that doesn't necessarily have to go right away to war. And that was just him.
And that's what I was about to say. It depends on if you actually are involved in a war too, because take care of somebody who has been in one, and my family going through that multiple times, it's not easy. Because who has time for that? But you got to work a job, take care of kids, try to live your life. You want to enjoy your life, and then your entire life, this is what you're spending your life doing. That's hard. And my grandfather told my grandmother, he was like, all the stuff that he had going on, he never made my grandmother go through that. As much PTSD that he had, he was in so much, it was the word therapy. He went through a lot of that. And because of us, like, we just kind of did things for him that made him not, be in that type of space. But he wake up sometimes and he'll be crazy, And then my cousin who went, like, y'all, we used to be ride or die, like me and my cousin were. When he came back, like, I can't even hang out with him anymore, because he turns into somebody else. If he drinks, if he smokes, if he has a bad day, like, it's different. And me and him used to have so much fun together, and I hate that he's a different person. Like, when you talk to him now, like, half the stuff he said, I don't even understand what he's talking about. It doesn't make any sense. And I know that it makes sense to him. The type of jobs that he gets, they don't have the opportunity of having those type of jobs sometimes. And it just gets to be to the point for me. It's just like, my grandfather was right for me, for my own self. I would never want my kid to go. If I have a kid, I would never. I was praying to God that war would happen, and they picked me when I turned 18. Until the time that they could not pick me again, because I didn't want to go. And a lot of my family members did go, and I never seen none of them go and come back and be the same person.
So, me coming from my military background with my family, like, my brother and my sister didn't go. And my parents actually did not know. It was kind of a last minute thing. I think I was acting out. At the time, I got accepted into James Cook University for marine biology. And then I told them, like, 2 days before it was time for me to leave, I'm like, I'm packing up. And they thought I was actually getting my stuff together to go to campus. And I'm like, oh, I signed up for the military. And they were shocked.
Were they happy?
My mom was not happy at all. My dad was like, you fucking kidding? He was just, like, stunned, because he always assumed that my older brother was gonna pop in and go that route, and he didn't. It ended up being me, and it just turned into this situation. But like, I didn't have a bad experience at all. When I enlisted and I went in, and my dad was still in, and on the Marine side, everyone knew who my dad was, and then everyone knew who my grandfather was, and so There were some people I could say I did have it a little easy, because everyone was like, well, I have tough skin because these are the people I came from.
Yeah, I
And
guess.
and but everyone else that came in that no one knew had a rougher time. So I did kind of have it easy. I will give it that. But when it came to when shit got real moments, it was a very difficult time, and then I had to learn how to shut parts of myself off.
Mhm.
uh you have to flip a switch, um and to be able to survive and cope. I never want to smell burnt flesh again. I never want to.
You don't think that that's heavy for you though?
I don't think.
I
I
mean,
mean,
that's isn't that
you have to shut. You literally have to shut parts of humanity off when it comes to thinking about the situation that you're in, and you have to think about survival. This is
right.
being
But I'm
mentally.
saying, like, when you get back home, though,
But I had a support system, especially with my dad, who has been in the
because
system
you have
and
family who
knows
you have family
what
who went
it's
through
like
that,
to decompress
right?
and how to become a functioning individual again. So I did have that support system. But it
But
had
but
had I
other
not had
people
that,
see the flip side.
I think I would have had some sort of um psyche issues moving forward.
Mhm. But that's my thing, though, Q. Like,
But that's the point.
I really get what you're saying, but even Cheryl in the chat, she's saying when they come home, we don't know what to do to help them. And I'm telling you, like, y'all, I'm literally trying my hardest not to even do this. But I don't think that people think when they go and then they come back what it does to the family because you made a decision to go. Like, and it's okay if you make the decision, but like, that's a lifelong journey for a lot of people. And you might have went and the money might be great for you, but your PTSD and everything else that you have going on is a lot for somebody else to have to deal with who doesn't even understand it. And then it comes to the point where it's like people lose their lives because they have to deal with the person who decided to go or was chosen to go. And you look at all the movies and stuff, and that's why I was talking about that show that I was watching. You look at stuff like the documentaries about the stuff, people who went and all of their drama and trauma that they've had. It might be okay for you to go, and the money might be great, but your family, that's a lifelong journey for them. And
And this is where
the person that they've had, I'm not saying you because that might not be your story, but the person that left didn't come back. And so now they're doing a totally different person. And it's hard. It's very hard for them to cope with that because they didn't sign up for that. You signed up for that.
I think it should actually be mandatory for people to actually, when they turn 18, to serve their countries. Because when we have, like every other country, I think, and when they come back, people can have an understanding and to help them to relay and help them of the situation because they have been there. If it's not a mandatory thing for you to serve your country and then you have someone who does and they come back, you have no idea of how to treat that person. But had you have been there to serve your country when the callers came, you have an understanding and to help and teach that person of how to survive and recalculate themselves
Mhm.
coming back into civilian life.
No,
I'll
indeed.
say
I
this.
think that is absolutely, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. To me, that is absolutely ridiculous. I think it should be those individuals who want to go to serve their country. I honor and respect that. Those who don't want to go don't want to go. Now, I get you have the family military in the background, but after listening to everything you said you went through and how you were even on the brink
We gotta
of
say
unaliving yourself,
because it's
good thing for
something.
you. You have family who went through it and understood it, so you had that system. But not everyone is like you. And to say it should be mandatory for people to go who won't necessarily have that setup when they come back to help them get through it, I think it's awful.
and
I think
and
that
they
is
all and
absolutely awful to want to inflict that trauma upon someone if they are unwilling to do it. Not everyone is strong enough for that. Not everyone can go ahead and put that side of them that side of themselves to the side to where that won't affect them or mess with their head, especially if that's someone who has been through a lot of trauma as a kid, and then at 18 we send them off to the military with more trauma can be inflicted, and then they come back here and say, oh, you have to be this. But if there's no support system, there are kids right now who don't have a support system for their family. Not everybody have what you have. So because you have that, I think you have a great vantage point because you had a system. You had people who've been through it in your family who knew on both sides, one, how to take care of you as being the person who went, and two, from the side of having that experience.
mm,
But
Not
no,
everyone who
and
goes
and
into the
mandatory.
and
system
Oh
goes
hell
into
no.
combat.
Oh
and you
hell
and
no.
you
I would
and,
I would
and
sit in
you
jail.
have to
I would
take
sit
into
in jail and send
accountability.
my son to Jesus before I let them take him
You
out of
you,
his own
you
free
got to
will.
take into accountability that when you go, like your whole family goes with you. When you come back, they got to take care of you. If you don't come back
Oh,
the
I
right
am
way,
I am completely well
it
aware.
alters
My
it
my
alters people's lives. To be honest,
my 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 folks have hundreds and hundreds of hours of videos of VHSs where they have recorded watching news segments when we were deployed to make sure that nothing happened to me. So I
they
I
can't watch news
completely
segments to
get
make
it.
sure nothing happens to you, though. Q. I mean, or they're watching to find out if something happened to you, not to make sure nothing happens to you. They're watching to see if something happened to you, because
Right. They can't
that's
stop
that's
what
what
happens
they
from
can't stop
watching
just
the
watching the
news
news story.
clippings.
And Pink Dynamite says, "Who will protect America if no one goes?" I'm not going to protect no country. Who will protect me? Because if I go to the military, I walk down the street. I'm in the same space. I could walk out of my house right now and still get shot on sight. So I'm not going to no place and protecting no place. Don't care about me and risking my life for that. I just will not. I'm sorry, y'all. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm about to go on a ranting. I hope ranting was here because I'm gonna be ranting Ricardo today. I'm not going.
Not Rancy
I'm not
Ricardo.
going to sit around and go on no shit where people will not protect me. I literally don't have a car right now because I know I can get pulled over and I might not make it back home. So I ride in an Uber car. This stuff is traumatizing to me. And I hate the fact that I even live my life this way. But for me, when this shit happened with COVID and the Black Lives Matter stuff happened, I realized my life don't really matter at all. And people were talking about, Black Lives Matter, and no, that whole thing was about police brutality, but the police don't even give a damn about me. I don't care if I went to the service to serve this country. If I get pulled over tomorrow, just like y'all were talking about earlier, it still don't matter to them. So for me, I would never do that. But the reason why I didn't say that before is because my grandfather told me not to. My aunt said, and Johnny knows she even knows that. But my grandfather said, don't go. And to me, when he said that, and as an adult, I understand the fact is after you come home, whether you made it back and you're good, hey, that's fine for the family. But if you come up effed up or you come back effed up, your family has to be responsible for you for the rest of your life.
But you still have your
And,
Why would I
freedom,
why
so
would I put that on my family?
imping dynamite, I get what you're saying. But I feel like the people who want to go, there are people who sign up all the time. And I feel like those people who sign up, those kids who take junior or OTC, so they can enter the military when they graduate with a higher rank, I applaud that. What I don't agree with is what Red Label is saying, that everyone should be made to go. I don't think that you should be made to go. I feel like if you want to um, give your life in service in that way to the military, I feel that you should go if that's what you want to do. I don't feel like you should be made to go. I don't know. I don't agree with that.
I see it as an opportunity for those who live in small communities who have never gotten out to see the people or have seen the world of how America works. I see it as a learning opportunity and a tool to work with people who do not look like you, who do not have the same faith as you, who does not have the same education for you to come together as a common goal to protect what is ours, which is our country. And it gives you the opportunity to learn about one another of who you are protecting. That's how I feel.
But like I said, that's your vantage point. You come from a military background
Hey,
family,
real quick,
correct?
Nola, real quick, y'all. The candy shop, her, they having a power outage in her neighborhood, so she's on my phone. Sorry, y'all. This is like so ghetto. Can y'all hear her?
Yes, this is like so ghetto, is what she said.
And we on her channel tonight.
Yes.
What
Over the
kind of
candy
low
shop channel
budget
tonight,
YouTube
y'all.
channel is this going on tonight? I'm joking.
So y'all can continue. I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna keep trying to come in.
Okay. And
Look,
when they start
are
talking,
you
if you want to say
are
something,
you
Phone a
able to
friend.
drop the link? Are you able to drop the link so
I
that
can't
she?
drop. I can't drop a link.
Y'all can on in YouTube. Y'all can.
Oh, on YouTube. Okay, let me go on to YouTube.
Because I was gonna say maybe if you drop the link, she can come up on her phone.
No, her electric. Also, her internet's not on in the house.
Your phone has mobile data.
And like this, one of the towers it appears is on like down in this area, so I can use my cell phone to talk to y'all, but internet is not working.
Yeah, I know because this happens in my house all the time, so I understand.
What is going on in Atlanta with y'all lights? The restaurant loses lights, your house lose lights,
Not the
Candy house lose
restaurant.
lights.
We Lord knocking down here punishing us.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna mute y'all for a minute because I'm about to pull up the video so I can drop it. But y'all talk. I'm about to mute y'all.
How loud? I
I don't
just
know.
go ahead, Nola.
I was just saying, like, I don't take away from your experiences. I just think because you have a family, you come from a family where being in the military is engulfed in you. You're definitely going to go up. You're definitely going to go up for it. And not only that, um, when you speak about smaller communities and everything like that, there are people who, once again, the mental of what they're going through, they don't need that added military mental. If you're thinking about people in general, everything is not for everybody. And everybody, like some people might not make it through the first night in a war if they have to go because mentally they have been through so much. Like I've worked in schools with kids who the only time they ate was when they went to school. Those kids had been through so much that sending them to the military would have absolutely destroyed them. So I don't think because you come from a family that's rich in military history. And once again, I appreciate you all. I applaud you all for being brave enough to do something that I will say myself I am not brave enough to do. Um, but I don't think it should be something that is mandatory.
I
For
think if it
someone to
was,
go. And third, I don't care what country it is, this country or three other countries, third world countries or whatever. I don't care. It should not, no one should be able to force you to go and fight and put yourself in a position to where you come back mentally unstable
Right.
without the care that you need, okay, for a country like you like they don't have it in this country and they don't have it in third world countries either. It is absolutely horrible in my opinion for
Right.
someone to go fight for a country and then when you get out they put you on all of these antipsychotic drugs that still doesn't heal you from the trauma. It numbs you and make you sleep. And then a lot of times they go off of that. They're homeless. They don't have like I fought for you. I fought for you all to be able to sit in the high price offices that the hell y'all have, bring
Mm-hmm.
home the hundreds of thousands of dollars that y'all
so
have, all of the lobbying dollars that y'all have. Meanwhile, I'm homeless. Hell
Right.
no, that
that
is
is
absolutely
only
not
in this
And
correct.
it's
country
crazy
because it
because
becomes becomes
because they went to go
political.
save America.
It is
Wait,
when
hold on,
it
real quick, y'all.
becomes
No,
political,
wait,
when it
real quick.
becomes
They went
the
to go save
issue.
America,
When
but
it
America
is
wanted to save
mandatory
them.
in
And
those
that's the
other
problem for
countries,
me.
they protect their veterans. They give them housing, they give them health benefits, they give them
This is not other
everything. It's
countries,
only
too.
within this country where it becomes problematic, and we
But this
take
is
it
the country
differently
that
because
you're
That's
gonna
it's a
the
make it
point.
social
That's the
system
point.
mandatory.
where we
That's the
try to
point.
keep people
That's the point
down.
we're
That's
making.
the point, Q. Is that they do that. We go
But
fight
when
for
we
America
take
and
the
we
politics
save
out of it
America.
and we change the system,
How
if the
The
and
system
system
isn't
was
changing.
it's
changed,
not changing, Q. We're trying to change it since
then that's
slavery.
a
It hasn't
problem.
changed.
It's been the same since
It's
your
been the same
grandparents
thing.
been in the military. It's
They
not
changed us from
changing.
being slaves to putting us in jail. And we got veterans. We have people who've been in the service. They're homeless right now, sitting in your local downtown area. Go down there and visit it because they're sitting down there right now. They don't have anything. They can't find jobs. They don't have the skills or
Then we
anything.
need to
There's
change who we
nothing
put in
happening.
office.
And how long do you want them? How long do you want them to wait for that? Though that's my thing. Is like they should come home with something besides let's change it in office. No, I just served the country. Why? Why do I have to wait for that?
Because until America decides to own up and take accountability for the original sins that it has cast upon its patrons within this nation, we will forever be held back with the problems that this country has.
And that's my point. So then I'm not going to serve the damn country and risk my life or my children's life or my family's life to serve a country who won't even give a damn on me when I get back here.
But if you were not serving or protecting, and there are other people who feel the same way, well, then who's protecting the nation?
The white people who got the privileges here, let them do it.
Once again, like I say, I don't have
I mean, and
any
that's the truth
problem with
because
people.
they should be on the front line because they have all the privileges. They don't even have to go to work Monday through
Now you
Saturday.
know I take bias because I got some.
I
I
know
got
you
a lot of
do.
that
I
in
know
my
you do. And
bloodline, so I
white
gotta
folks on the
I
same
gotta be on
page.
the fence.
Tomato, tomato. I'm on the same page. I white folks, my family too. But that's who should be on that front line fighting for this country because they have the privileges here. We still gotta fight for our we fighting for rent. We fighting for regular shit in I'm gonna say in Atlanta, in the United States for black rights. We don't have any of those things. So the white folks should go and fight.
I want to
They,
take.
they use
I
us
would like to
for
take
all the
race out of it. I think it
World
should
War II,
be
the
an.
Vietnam stuff. They use us for all that stuff. But at this point right now, let them go fight and let
I'd
them
like to
die.
take race out of the equation and just say
No, keep race in the.
American rights, right?
It needs to stay. It needs to stay there. Keep race in there because it should stay there because they're the ones. I was literally watching that show. I was just telling y'all about the Sin of the City thing when it's about the boy who got killed in Bronxworth, Georgia. They killed that boy for running down the street because they white people who think the black people should be able to run down the street. Well, run down in the war and start shooting up people, and hopefully you don't get shot up because that's what it should be. The white folks that own America, let them own America and go to the wars and fight for the shit. We've already done our work. We've been here. We built everything. We've created everything. Y'all have light bulbs. Y'all have butter. Y'all have peanut butter. Y'all have all these
Not
things.
light bulbs, peanut butter, heart
They have all
transplants,
this stuff
traffic
for the black
lights.
people. You have stoplights. You don't want to go when you can stop, slow down, and go.
But we don't see color.
But y'all want to go fight for y'all too? Like, no. Y'all do the work and let us sit back and chill. We've already been through slavery and everything else.
And
Let
this is
y'all
why a
do the
lot
work.
of
It's their
this
time.
is why a lot of people have migrated. A lot of black people migrated from to Russia in the UK during World War II due to the the racist things within this country. But how do we, as a country, fix the potholes?
Let the white folks fight because we've already.
I don't need none of them fighting for me.
Listen, the black folks we're tired. We're tired. We're done. Let the white folks do the work now. We built this country.
We've been
Everything
tired since the
they have
curse
here,
of
they
Ham.
have it. Let them go and fight the wars by themselves. They come over here and kill the Indians and stuff. Now go kill other people so y'all can keep it.
One sec.
And to me, that's the facts for me. Okay. I think that black people, anybody else outside white people, should not be in no wars because we've all done our work already. Immigrants have already fought to get over here because they've had bad situations. Y'all brought us over here to build the whole damn place. The white folks over here stole everything. Now go steal something from everybody else. Enjoy it. So y'all understand what we went through when y'all losing y'all families, when y'all get separated. Y'all do it. It's time for them to stop being lazy and do the work. Hey,
Hey,
dashboard.
hey, I'm back. If y'all can see, I'm trying to drive up to the Kroger to get service. The power is off for
We can see you.
blocks.
We can see the street in front of you. We can't see you.
I mean, well, you can see that there's no power. It's just people driving.
So let's change the name of the live to Ryan with the Candy Shop.
Let me see. I'm gonna turn my camera around. Hold on. I'm gonna turn it on for a second.
I'm gonna just say, like, to be honest, I really don't care about none of this. The white folks need to step up and do their job. They did all this stuff to make everybody else work for them. It's time for them to do the work. And I'm gonna mute myself because I went on my whole tangent.
Hi. What are we talking about?
I don't know where Red Label and Nola went.
I am
I
still
don't,
here. You were ranting, so
oh yeah.
I was quiet. Um,
I'm back.
I just feel like at the end of the day, the military is not the only service that's done in this country. Is it a big one? Yes. But just like I feel like some people have the call in to be in the military, some people have the call in to teach, some people have the call in to be doctors, some people have the call in to be lawyers, and what have you. Um, and I don't feel like no one decision should be forced upon anybody if that's not what they want to do. There are ultimately people who are just like Red Label who grew up in families that was deeply rooted, right, in the military, and they're going to continue to do military. And like I say, I know people who've had those experiences, but also have a cousin who just entered the military last year, who went to Talladega Tech, got his degree first so that he can enter the military at a higher, at a higher rank. I have another cousin right now. He's in high school playing football. His dream place to go is to either the Army Academy or the Naval Academy, play football for them, and ultimately end up in the military. So you have kids who grow up and want to do that and know they didn't come from a low poverty area. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna act like that was my family story. We wasn't a struggle family. Everybody had houses, we all had food on the table. You know what I'm saying? We all had whatever we wanted on top of what we needed, on top of what we wanted again. So I'm not gonna say that that was our story and, oh, they needed this to go to college. No, they could have went however they wanted to go and do it. Is the way that they want to do it. So you have people that ultimately that is what they want to do. They want to be in the military. And ain't nothing wrong with that. I just don't feel like it should be forced upon everyone to be obligated to go at the age of 18. Like, honestly, Red Label, it surprises me how much you're dedicated to the service and pushing it, that everyone should have that experience, being the things that you said you experienced and how you said, you know, the things you went through and how
I hear you.
you you wanted to unalive yourself, but you had that support. I can't see my mind state. And like I say, it's based on my vantage point, not yours. But I think
Right.
that's honestly amazing that you have that dedication to the military.
Where I take
But for
offense is where
me,
people talk and bitch about shit that's happening within the country and they don't do anything to support or help the country
well,
move
well,
forward.
but see, like your mission was the military. My mission is I am heavily enrolled in politics. I go to forums. I go to city council meetings. I bring students to get registered. When we had election day down here, I took 6 trips of high school students, and that's only because I couldn't go anymore. I had to get home and get sleep because I work overnight, and I wasn't gonna put them children at risk. And I'm like, literally, my eyes are heavy. 6 carloads, and I can fit myself and 6 other people in my car, 6 trips of bringing them to the polls, standing with them in the polls, and before that, educating them, not telling them who to vote for, but asking them questions. Okay, what do you want your future to look like? What do you want your community to look like? This is what these propositions are saying, breaking it down so they can understand. And at the end of the day, when you fully understand what's incorporated in this proposition, what's going on, and what they're saying, and this is what they've done, this is what they haven't done, this was the lie, this was the truth. If this person, not Republican or Democrat, that's not what I taught. What I taught was, is this person aligned with your core values and the way you want to see your country being run? Then that's who you vote for. So your fight was on that line, my fight was on this line, because you still have to have people over here who fight for that. Because like you said, it's changes that needs to be made within the government. But if we don't have
Absolutely.
anybody over here educating our youth to understand what those changes are, because most people just preach vote in the presidential election, not understanding it's your city council
And it happens in
elections,
the
it's your
local
mayor,
elections as
it's your
well.
mayoral, but mayoral. I hate when I get tongue tied. Your mayor election, the propositions that's being put forth in your city to decide where is the government of your city going to spend and allocate money in your city. But a lot of people don't push that. So, I
But
feel
people
like I
also
feel like
have to get out.
people should do what inherently is for them to do and advocate. And the military just ain't for me to do.
I think people also need to get out and see how other country and how other peoples live within
Well,
outside the borders. Because
I
right now,
do
what
that
is it?
as
Only
well. I just do it
I.
via Delta Airlines.
But I'm like, what? Out of all the American citizens that we have in this country, only 10% have passports, have ever left the country. So you need to see how other countries and governments are being ran to get an idea to see what other people are doing. And when we're stuck of what we know and what we only see with this country, you will see that we are lacking in so many other things.
I
That's
mean,
just me.
listen, I understand what you're saying. Like, it's some places that I've traveled to, and when I've landed in their airport, I'm like, Jesus, and they say this is a third world country. Well, what the hell kind of country we living in? Because it is not that advanced. But when I go places, I don't want to do your typical touristy. I want to know the history. I want to know where you live. I want to know how the people of that place live. But I think once again, that still comes from the vantage point. You coming from a military family, they were probably able to teach you about different cultures and things like that. Me, I come from a family with a political background, so I am very heavy into politics. And we traveled, like that was very important to my mom. I had been to the Bahamas for the first time. I was 8 years old, first time I ever went out of this country. Everybody don't get to have those experiences. And everybody don't most a lot of people, and I'm just being real, look at the cost of living versus the average wage of people what they're making in this country. They don't have time to think about other countries and how people living and experiencing that when they're trying to decide if they're gonna put $5 and hope they come across another $5 because they gotta spend $3 over here to be able to feed them and their children.
And that, let me just say this to your point, Nola, that was my, going back to the military, that was my ex-husband's choice. Like, for some, the military helped them put food on their families' tables and different things. It allowed him to do things that he would not have done had he not been in the military. He also became a citizen because my ex-husband is not American. So it I mean it's a catch 22. It has its good points and its bad points. Me myself, family wise, come from a religious, political, and military family. So I mean, everybody's experience is different. I'm It sounds like we need to do another show on just military and this alone, um coming up.
And
But
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. We have friends, Deb and I, a married couple that one spouse got out the military. They met in the military. Now one spouse is out and the other one is in. And listen, they don't seem like they got no hard. Like they
Yeah.
really, like, so it's not, but it was their choice to go, to make
Yeah.
it a career or to not make it a career. And that's all I'm saying. It should not be forced. Look like you got to
Look,
somewhere where
y'all, the
there's some
power is
lights.
coming. The power is coming back on. So let me see if I'm gonna go back down by my house.
I'm gonna just be quiet.
Um, yes, I'm driving. Y'all can keep talking, but yeah, like Nola was saying, the military experience
Hey
is different
Nihar.
for everybody. What'd you say?
I'll say hi to Nihar.
Oh, hey,
Hey,
Nihar.
Nihar.
It's
Hey.
it's different for everyone, and I'll say this, Nola, to your point about your son. I would not want my son to join if there's a war going on right now.
But
So
you don't know when it's gonna start though.
I know, and that's a chance we take. But then again, living in America, anything can happen to my child. Anything.
There's a war going on every day for us at being black.
Exactly.
There's a
So
war in the streets every damn day.
Exactly. So
to
my
me,
point is this:
I'm
since
not
there's a
doing
war going on, and at times I don't know what's going to happen. I'd rather him be equipped to protect himself and protect his family versus just being out here and
and risk
who
his
knows.
mental health.
Yeah. What'd you say?
And risk his mental health.
Risk his mental. Not everybody has mental health issues in the military,
But
though.
it's like throwing out dice though. It might happen, it might not happen. And I would never do it to my kid. Like never. I'm sorry, I cannot do that. This is why I struggle with even having a kid. Because I would never want my kid to even be in a space to do this. I'm telling y'all, listen, I'm telling you, as a black man who lived in the
I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it.
and I'm telling you because this is why I'm like,
This is why we have white gloves in America right now, because everybody is too goddamn kid friendly. They're too sensitive. Oh my!
It's not even about that for me. It's the fact that y'all want us to fight for some shit that we don't even have rights to. Like it doesn't matter. You can go and fight. You talked about it. No, everybody has talked about it. We don't have rights to do shit here. So we're gonna go fight for something you have rights to.
We don't have rights to do shit here.
Walk outside and hopefully that the
Deb, I'm
gonna
need you to
look. I just
passport.
look, you. We just watched that boy who was.
I'm gonna need you to dust off that passport. We can go to Singapore.
I don't need.
We can
my
go to
passport is
Dubai. We can go to Liberia. We can go to Cameroon, and I will show you people who don't have goddamn rights, and we don't have rights here.
What you're saying is that we have better rights than other people who don't even have rights, and that's my thing. We still don't have rights here, period. Because let your ass walk outside, and the cops that don't like black people see you walking outside in a neighborhood that they don't think you're supposed to be in.
So
and
that's
let's see how
cop, not
far
a
you
whole
make it down the street.
Government or a regime or okay.
Okay, I'm a drop down.
No,
I'm a drop down because I don't want to rant and I don't want to click out on nobody
Well,
on
I
the
mean, your
channel.
name is Nola Reed.
Can
no,
I,
don't worry.
can I say this? Let's just all agree to disagree, and let's go back to our discussion about KJ, Kevin Jr. and
That
him
$2
being
million apartment.
Before we go back to that, I want because I went outside because I did have to take a break. I want to say this, and then we can go back to whatever we're talking about. To me, I just feel like it's unfair for black people to have to fight for anything in America because we've already fought. We've built this effing country, and we don't have anything to show for it at all. And it's so unfair. And yes, I understand that y'all want what you believe. I believe I understand how the candy shop believe. I understand how the Lorette believes. But as a black man who have experienced,
so first of all, I think black people need to come together. We need to come together and stop being so dismissive and tearing one another down. But I'm gonna mute.
As a black man who has had to plead guilty to stuff that I've never even done, I have no hope in this country at all. I have no positive anything to say. I'm just happy that I'm still alive here in this place. I'm happy that I even know y'all to be a 38 and 39-year-old man because there's things that could have happened to me because of cops who've done bad stuff to me. I've had a cop who arrested me, and then when I see him at the damn Park apologized to me over and over and over again because that's his job. So for me, I don't have that same experience. And I'm not trying to take people's experience away. What I'm saying is that for me, I'm never going to fight for a country who don't give a fuck about me.
Let me give you a little bit of insight, Dib. It's forever going to be that way until Black people as a whole, as we can come together collectively, come together as a people. Because if we don't have love for ourselves and we're so quick to tear ourselves apart on social media, online, and politics, whatever you may be, no one is going to have respect for us because we don't have respect for ourselves. And
but why is that?
We tear ourselves apart because everyone wants to be a fave. Everyone feels as though they have this slave mentality that they're trying to get into the big house and everybody's not invited to the party. We are so divisive.
But
we
why
are so
is that
dismissive of each other, and we are so jealous of one another. It
why?
shows.
Why? Why is that? Why is that?
Why are we in competition with one another?
Because
why are we constantly being pit against one another?
It's because of slavery. Listen,
and why can't we get past that mentality to become a whole?
With this conversation, and this is why I'm like, listen, I'm gonna let y'all talk because this is not my first time on the rodeo with this conversation. White folks have created a situation for us, and it's like it's so hard to talk to Black people, and I do hate the fact that Black people won't get this. We are so divided when it comes to the color, the sex,
colorism. It's crazy.
All these things, but it's not a natural thing.
Not be sure my wokeness knee higher.
It's a taught thing, and that's my problem. Is because for some reason we as Black people we can't get it, and it drives me.
We create our own damn problems. I had my Black grandparents pit me against my other cousins who may have been darker than me or have been different from me, and then said they put us in competition. We do it to ourselves. We are so fucked up in the goddamn head with slavery of how we treat one another that we pit each other against one another, and we're supposed to be all one. To have my grandparents put me against my cousins who do not look like it's crazy.
Hey fellas, can we continue this discussion on Sodeb's channel because my power in my neighborhood is still off. I'm ready to go home. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this live.
Don't end your live. We're gonna let you come back on.
I don't think the power is coming back on anytime soon in my house.
You in Detroit? Where you at?
I'm in the boonies.
Do you stay close to Candy and the gangs?
No, I'm like an hour from them.
Oh no, I was just asking because they were talking about the lights, child.
And so they done shut all the lights off in Atlanta for the Black folks. That's what it seems like.
But just stay on your phone.
Why ain't your power off, damn?
Because I don't stay an hour away from
you. Ain't in the boonies.
No, I'm in the city.
OMG. But we can continue this on Deb's channel.
Right now.
So I got to create a live now?
Yes.
Because
if I log off and when y'all log off, this is just going to be, it's still going to be on.
Right, and she want to save her phone battery in case she needs
an emergency.
Make a phone call or something. I get it. I love you, Candy. I hope you some lights.
Listen, let me say this.
Thank you, Nola. Yes, there.
Let me say this before we do get off of here. We're not probably going to go over to my channel because I'm under the bed. My point is this. Mm-hmm. All the stuff that you said, it sounds great. Write it down on a piece of paper. It looks amazing. But the reality is it's not the facts for us as Black people. It's just not. Because it don't matter. You talk about what you have already been through. And I'm like, this is what I'm talking about. What Black people go through in the United States, this ain't it.
You know what my thoughts are on it? I think because we can come together is because we are.
I was trying to finish what I was saying.
Okay, you go ahead.
So let me finish it.
All right.
The reason why is because when I walk outside of my house, I hope that I can make it to work. Hopefully I can make it back home when I go from my job back here. And then I can go fight for a country who don't give a damn about me. I'm not doing that.
Why?
And I
Why do you
think
feel
that
that way?
I think that you said something that was very instrumental. You have privileges when you win. So that's very different for everybody else. I have a cousin, I'm telling you right now, he's my best friend. I love my best friend to the end of this earth. And my best friend who was in Ohio, when he came back, is not the same person. I can't stress that enough and what that looks like for us because now not only are y'all taking away our rights, but you're taking away our people as well. And yes, everything that you said might be right, but it's also traumatizing to our families because we don't have a privilege for the mental health because they don't give it to them all the time. My cousin don't have all that. And he talks about it all the time. All that's he don't have none of that. So I don't know what how you got it, but he don't have the resources for that. We have people who've been in the wars. They don't have any health insurance. They can't find a job. None of that. So for me, I'm never going to say let a kid go there. Girl, drop your kid off. I will pick them up when they start walking in, and I will take care of that kid until they go find something else to do because that ain't what it is. And I don't want people to think that that's okay because it's not.
I think we need to systematically change who we are as people. We need to stop. Uh, fuck it. Gloves are off.
Wow.
We need to stop attacking one another as Black people. We do it all the time, and I feel as though it happens because a lot of Black people are lost. They don't know who themselves are. They don't know where they come from. They don't have an idea of who they are and what their makeup is. And there's a lot of confusion there. And when you don't have the knowledge of who you are as a person or as a people, we tend to attack those who are not like us. And we have a tendency to attack people who are like us when we are all the same.
So
And
Let me.
what age do you have to know who you are?
Can I end it on this? And I'm gonna end it on this.
I'm
We
not
don't know.
talking my life too. So go ahead.
We don't know who we are because our culture and everything
it
about
was
us
stolen. It was
stolen
taken
from us. And so, and I definitely 100% agree with Red Label. We judge each other based
That's
off
what
of what
what I'm saying.
I know we judge each other based off of what was told of what we should be versus what we actually are. We don't have to be like what society says we need to be because we are our own set of people. We have our
facts.
own cultures. So it's up to us now to create our own narratives and who we need to be. So I do agree we need to stop judging each other because we're not them. And not to say that I'm not saying anything is wrong with them, but we have our own issues and our own things to worry about, and we
You got
need to
that from what I
definitely
was
uplift
saying.
each other.
You got
No,
that from what I was saying.
I couldn't hear because my phone was going out. So
Because I'm looking at Neha, I'm looking at you. I'm like that. I said that's what I was saying. That
yeah,
I'm not judging.
Well, it didn't translate that way.
It's
It came from what I was saying.
No, I've been saying that I don't think that I said I don't judge you from what your experience was. What I'm saying is that I know people who what your experience was is not their experience. And I would never, because I know people who have been through that experience,
Hey, TT.
I would never encourage that because I'm not fighting for no country who's going to not give a about me.
right. And hey,
Period.
AT2.
What's going
And
to
that's the thing that we need to start giving a fuck about ourselves when we are inhabiting into a
I have
country to
always
recognize they're not going to give a fuck about ourselves until
I
we
have
start
always
getting a
let me tell
fuck
you something.
about each other.
Let me tell you
Hey,
something. Since I've been doing radio, I've always talked about the wilderness law. I realized that wasn't even a real thing. But I've talked about when I started radio, I've always talked about the wilderness law and how it has divided us. And I don't care if it was real or not, it's a real thing in the Black community. We are so divided between what we look like and our skin tones, our hair, everything. I've always talked about this because we are so divided. Our sexuality is everything. It does not matter.
Yeah,
But when it
we
comes down to
shape the world and we shape the culture. And
hold on,
until we come together
No, listen,
collectively,
I'm bringing it back. I'm bringing it back. So when it comes down to
we are the world and the
each other-
culture,
Hey,
and we
hey.
keep dividing ourselves.
Go ahead.
Okay,
Keisha.
Q, let Deb finish. I was
Yeah, I'm
about
trying
to
to finish
mute
what
you,
I'm
Q.
saying. So when it comes down to supporting each other, we cannot because we're so freaking divided. And I hate that. And that's why I always talk about this all the time. Like, I don't mind talking about it because I want us to look at ourselves when we're on our lives together. When I was on the radio, I wanted people to be held accountable in their own thoughts about why we're not coming together and why we don't get shit done because we will not understand the fact is that we're divided as Black people. I don't blame that on. I blame that on. If it was the Willis Lynch law, I blame it on that. But if that's not what, if that wasn't real, it's us, and we got to figure out how we can do this. I don't care what shade color of Black you are. When shit happens, or before it happens, we should not be this divided. Period.
You
Yeah.
will never catch a white person, a Hispanic person, or any other person
I agree with
shade
you.
a person
I
about
agree.
their hair texture, what
I
they
agree.
look like, their color. You will never see. But if you can go on any live or check out any video, and we are shaming someone's hair texture, someone's color, someone's lips, someone's nose. You don't see that on the other side of the spectrum, and we have a tendency to keep bringing this shit up like we
Right.
hate ourselves.
Let's take this to Deb's channel
Yeah.
because I'm ready to go home again.
But I am agreeing. We just said the same thing. But I will. We go to my channel. But we just said the same thing.
Yeah. All right. Well, I will be there as soon as my power is on. I'm gonna turn the camera on. Y'all see it? It's a power guy. I don't know if y'all can see him. He's parked next
Y'all
to me.
don't be expecting no cover art because it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, so I'm gonna log off. Make sure you guys subscribe to all of our channels. Sodebnair, Red Label, Nola Reads, myself. This was fun. We need to do this again. Meet us in 10 minutes on Deb's channel.
All right. I'm about to post mine now.
All right.
Okay.
Go live this
All right.
shit.
All right. Bye, y'all.
Bye.